Hello everybody and welcome to Minecraft Dungeons.
It was a time of great adventure and danger. Shunned by his kin, an illager wanders the land, seeking a new home. But all he found was hatred. Driven by rage against those who wronged him, he wandered blind to whatever end. Until at long last, the illager found something that would change him forever. The Orb of Dominance. Corrupted by evil, driven by vengeance, the Arch-Illager made all bow before him. And if they did not bow, they would fall. The Illagers raided the land. Who would have the valor, the purity of heart, to stand against the Arch-Illager's reign of terror? Well, not that one. But maybe you.
And like that, we are in Minecraft Dungeons. We're gonna go ahead and select our character. There's plenty to pick from, but already kind of confused, not sure what the Orb of Dominance is. That's not something I've ever heard of in Minecraft, so hopefully we get some explanation for that. But you can see there's actually a wide range of characters. You don't actually get to customize it, it appears off the back. It's just a bunch of presets, so we're gonna go with the pink-haired one.
The village is burning. No doubt this is the work of the evil Arch-Illager and his minions. They sweep across the land like a ravenous scourge, subjugating or destroying all in their path. This is a time for heroes like yourself. Make haste. The villagers have need of you.
Alright, and just like that, we're plopped right into it. So it looks like A is to swing the sword here. I picked pink. You can actually customize the layout of what you want your little glowing thing around the enemies to be. So I went ahead and went pink because it's pretty bright. So looking at the inventory, so it's definitely not set up like normal Minecraft. So it appears we get emeralds for killing zombies. Just kind of trying to figure out what we're doing. I've already kind of figured out that arrow kind of means where we're supposed to go. I'm already guessing that. It also seems like these paths are being destroyed and opening up to us as we kill the enemies that we need to. But just trying to figure out what that is. Alright, so we're gonna get some arrows here. So it looks like that's to shoot with RT. It doesn't seem like there's actually any aiming to it. It's just click the button and the enemy that's highlighted will be the one that gets hit. So I don't really know if there's more to shooting or if that's just it, but that's kind of what it seems like, at least in the tutorial. Alright, we got a couple more enemies this time. We got some zombies as well. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of those as we cross the bridge. It's actually kind of hard to tell if they died right away because they just kind of lay there, so I didn't actually know. But we got quite a few zombies here. It seems like it's just there isn't really any different types of attacks. It's just hitting A to swing your sword, and then RT with the trigger to shoot the arrows, as we're going to pick up some more arrows and some bread. Now, it seems like every time you get food, you automatically consume it. throughout my playthrough, I couldn't figure out if this was something that changed or if I was just doing something wrong. But it seemed like every time you got to food, you just consumed it, and there was if there was a way to store it, I didn't know it. As you head through what looks to be the town square of this area, the gate goes up, and there's the Illager, who apparently spawns enemies. And so right off the bat, I can already kind of tell that I know it's the tutorial, but it kind of already seems like it's maybe not too crazy hard, as we get a quick tutorial on enchanting our gear. So we're gonna go ahead and enchant our sword, since I kind of prefer to do that instead of using the arrow, at least right now. I'm gonna go ahead with the weakening, which is nice because it means if they do hit us, they'll do a lot less damage to us. But, you know, just like it was added later in Minecraft, there's no need to really jump or anything. It seems to take care of that for you. I was very confused by what it meant artifact at this point. It turns out it is to use the like to equip the firework to one of your things, but I didn't quite get that at the time. Is just here we're told how to shoot the enemy. The things that confused me is it said X, so I was thinking that's what you had to do, but it turns out it just puts that in your RT slot, so didn't quite get that at first, but it was pretty easy to figure out. And I've seen some people complain about this with this game. Is right here you can see I'm figuring it out for the first time. It doesn't seem like you can actually fall, so there isn't really a whole lot of a point other than level design to have the things look like this, you know, the levels where there's these big pits and everything, because it doesn't seem like you can actually fall. I'm trying to figure out how to get to this chest. I tried shooting it, that didn't work. I guess it's just something I'll have to come back later if we can revisit this level or something. But it doesn't seem like there's actually any real danger from the map itself, which I find a little interesting. I mean, maybe that changes later, because I guess this is the tutorial, but from what I can tell, it just kind of seems like that. And then there's these little pathways that lead off of the main path of the map, and those also don't really seem to do like they lead anything anywhere. At least not in the tutorial. It just seems like they make you walk a really long way to eventually get to right here, which is kind of the end of the map. And looking right here, there isn't really anything. I found out later that it does, because this is actually setting up your face, but it just kind of makes you walk a long way to just end the mission.
The villagers, but don't fret. They're still out there somewhere waiting for a hero to find them.
And just like that, we've completed the tutorial. Yeah, so far from the tutorial, I've already got kind of got mixed feelings from this game as we actually level up. And I find out here that we actually have loot chests, because what game doesn't have loot chests in the year 2020? As we get a fishing rod. I don't know what we're supposed to do with that in this game, because you can't go fishing. So taking a look at the map, you can see they're going to add more stuff soon, the island realms. But so it looks like we kind of start off in a normal biome, kind of a swampy one, then maybe making our way over to the woods, which is where our next one's going to go.
By the Arch-Illager's decree, all free folk are now enemies of the Illager Empire. Somewhere in these woods, a caravan is transporting villager prisoners to labor in far-off lands. Find the caravan and stop the Illagers, or there's no telling what dreadful doom will befall our villager friends.
Alright, so we're in the woods now, and I left that loading screen to just kind of show you. I'm running this on an Xbox One X, And it's kind of a ridiculous load time for what you're getting here, because I mean, it's not that big of a map from what I'm able to tell. I mean, it's much bigger than the tutorial, but it kind of just seems like such a long loading time for what it is. And so far off the bat, so normally I'm actually a pretty big fan of these types of games, RPGs like this. You know, I play a lot of Skyrim, Dragon Age, Assassin's Creed, and I like games like this that have this kind of point of view. But I can already tell already that this game is not nearly on those levels. And of course, it's a Minecraft game, so I didn't really expect it to be. But for one, the camera view is kind of frustrating. You can't move it at all. And the fact that they just have to highlight enemies that you can't see coming is kind of frustrating. They even do that with you at some points, which I just feel shouldn't be a thing. They should just be able to let you move the camera. So at this point, I see that the whole thing seems kind of guided. It has an arrow of go here. Yet they add all these extra parts to the map, although this one's just a pointless dead end. But as I find out later in this level, they have all these different layouts and like an actual quote-unquote dungeon in this level that you can explore. However, they never actually let you do it really if you just follow the objectives. It's just, here's how to get to the finish of this level, and that's kind of it. Which is kind of disappointing because it doesn't seem like... So the game gives you the option to do this free roaming stuff, but it doesn't really encourage it. And so there was that TNT block. I had no idea how to use it. That's why it was used so poorly that first time. I swear I get better with it. So here we are protecting the villagers. Have you noticed the second you free them, that's it. They just don't exist anymore. They will disappear. You don't have to protect them at all. So it's kind of like, all right, so these are just checkpoints I'm hitting. It's not actually something I'm saving or protecting. There isn't really anything to do with that, which is kind of disappointing, because trust me, no one likes escort missions, but the fact that you don't actually have to defend these people, even though there is a horde of mobs around you, the second you free them, it's like, all right, you're free. Go, disappear into thin air. As we continue so we've actually slightly gone off the path here. We're kind of just working our way through this field, which has a bunch of sheep and cows in it as well, which we just randomly hit, which is weird because it doesn't seem like there's a way to actually aim your arrows. So even though you're aiming for the skeletons or the zombies, that just randomly hit a sheep or cow, it seems. And then there's also these random boxes of emeralds, and at this point in the game, it's not really explained what the emeralds are for, so I don't know why I should care. But at this point, you see, we're already being introduced to getting more loot. Although you'd think you would actually pick it up from maybe mobs that dropped it. Like we have the skeletons with the arrows here. You think we'd pick up a bow and arrow from the skeletons. But it doesn't seem that way, because also there doesn't appear to be any sort of weapons, like weapon durability, like there is in the main Minecraft game. It just kind of seems like you have this forever now, and you can just keep using it and keep using it and keep using it. So I found there was that A button, and this is, I guess, a quote-unquote dungeon. But as you can see from where the arrow is at the top right of the map, we were never told to come anywhere near here. As I don't even know what that was I just hit, but apparently it made a bunch of mobs spawn. But here we are, we found something, and I don't really know what, but they got us a ton of loot, including more TNT, and it looks like some armor and more emeralds. I have a block of TNT on my head, and I'm trying to figure out how to use it here because it's not in one of the slots. Let's take a look over here. I mean, there's just another empty little cavern. There's nothing to do over here, so go ahead back over to the right side. And then I figured out it was RT, which is the same button you use for shooting. It's not explained, so you kind of figure that out yourself. But This little dungeon that I found here kind of taught me the thing that I probably have the biggest gripe with about this game so far, at least in its early levels, is that even though there are all these mobs, and you can see they're right there and some of them are hitting me, it doesn't really seem like I'm in any danger. You know, you saw I got hit and my heart barely went down. I only lost 10 life points, and it seems like you get a ton because the heart barely went down. So unless you're completely overwhelmed, you're not gonna really get hit that much. And then the other thing is that I'm just spamming the A button. And I know there's a lot of games like this out there where that's kind of all you do is you just spam the A button over and over to get through levels, but that's it. You know, there's no other attacks. It's you have your sword out, you use the A button, and that's it. And then you can switch to arrows, which are just automatic hits, and there's no skill to using the arrows. So while I wouldn't say I was excited for this game because, you know, it's a Minecraft game. I don't really know how to get excited for that. It's just it kind of seems like they didn't really they made it for the stereotypical kid audience, I guess. You know, it doesn't have any challenge to it whatsoever, at least in this first level. It seems it's just, here are a whole bunch of mobs, you just hit the A button, you know, get through the level just fine. I mean, that hit took out like 3 of them at once, so there really wasn't even a challenge. As we look at our inventory here, I mean, we're not actually wearing armor at this point, we're just now going to look at putting armor on. And I was a little confused by this part because it made it seem like you weren't, it was actually different armor, so I still don't quite know. I didn't know if there was another piece of armor or what was going on with the armor at this point, because it seemed like there's only one slot, even though there's different pieces for it. And I was looking at the fishing rod, and I still wasn't sure what to do with it. I didn't know if I was supposed to beat zombies with it or something. But yeah, just like that, that's the end of that little dungeon. Everything was right at the beginning, and then there was something right at the end, which actually wasn't even near the exit. We had to then go find on our own, as that zombie dropped even more loot. And then, so you notice when you eat, you know, the meat and apples and stuff, you know, the stuff that drops from the mobs and all that, you gain the health back. So even when you lose that little bit of health from the game, you seem to immediately get it back, because there's plenty of stuff nearby for you to use to get the health back. So here we're just kind of wandering, and it's just going from checkpoint to checkpoint. I guess right now it's like introducing you to creepers or something, but it just seems like a lot of walking with nothing really going on. It's just, here are some creepers, they'll explode, and then here's more zombies, but they're stupidly easy to take care of. And I don't want it to sound like I don't like this game, because I mean, I can't even really say that I do, I guess. Is right here, I'm trying to see if I can jump off, but I know I still can't. But it just seems like it's not enough care was put into it, I guess, if that makes sense. It's like they just made a simple dungeon game, but threw a Minecraft skin on it so it would sell, because they almost knew it wasn't going to be that good, I guess. I mean, I hope in the future, you know, maybe some updates or something make it a little more difficult, but at this stage, it's just, on launch, it just seems so easy with not much to do. And right now, the only enemy I actually kind of even like fighting is the spiders, because they shoot those webs that'll actually get you caught. Only thing is, though, I think it's kind of meant for, you're in a huge horde, a zombie shoots a web at you, so here comes everyone, including creepers and all that. You can still swing your swords, you can still kill them all. And then there actually isn't that many mobs at once for you to have to deal with, so it's not that big of an issue. As we collect some more random emeralds. And that looks like a pig with a chest or something, so we got that. You can see right there. So we're getting caught in these spider webs, but there's no real danger. The spiders don't come closer to you. Once you can kill the other mobs so quickly that it doesn't even matter. Here's a random house with more arrows and bread in case you somehow manage to lose all your hearts in this level of walking and just killing the same 3 enemies over and over. But yeah, I mean, at least I think I'm starting to get close to the end of this level. At this point, I couldn't even tell, because even though it's quote-unquote open, you can tell it is linear. But at this point, I was like, I don't even want to explore these little side areas, because the game clearly doesn't care if you do, and I don't really care if I do. It's, there wasn't that much to see on them. So it looks like at the end of the level here, you actually fight against villagers, which have just the tiniest bit more challenge to them, because most of them wear armor and they move a little faster. But this level could have been so much better at here, or any part of this game, if they had actually included, okay, you're saving these villagers at the end of the level, you need to protect them as well. Don't let them die when you free them. Don't make it your mission the entire time, but as soon as you free them, it's like, all right, well, in the villager's mind, it's like, well, I lost them. Nothing I can do, even though they're literally right there in front of them. We see, now we have 4 out of the 5 villagers. Going over to the 5th one, kill another villager. And just like that, it seems like the main part of this level's already done. There's yet another supply chest with arrows and bread, in case you somehow still are having trouble. Which I guess if you're a younger player, that can make sense. And I know this game's, I believe, rated E, so I know that's kind of some of Minecraft's demographic, but they throw this story mode in there, which kind of has more story to it than the Minecraft story mode game from Telltale. Trying to captivate you and be like, oh, look at this context for the game and everything. That's like, okay, you've told me there's an illager who was treated meanly, found a random cube which made him powerful and then he turned evil, but you just have me facing these other illagers, villagers, whatever they are, and there's no backstory explained at the beginning and everything, which I get games are supposed to build up backstory and everything, but here's a very basic cutscene explaining why a person's evil because of some magic cube. Now go kill the mobs you're used to from the first game, which apparently are on his side. And just like that, we're done with the level.
Free from the clasp of the illagers, all thanks to you.
So yeah, I mean, as we have to sit through yet another loading screen with a weird sound, it's hard to say what to honestly think of this game. It's not the worst game I've ever played, but it's by no means good. It's just very basic. There isn't really a lot to do, and you can tell by some of these level designs as we discover the blacksmith. And this is another problem I have, is that you just get random gear. There's no actual shop. It's just, here's how you spend your money by getting random stuff. You don't actually get to pick anything. But it seems like the game itself doesn't care enough for you to explore these levels that they've made, because it's just, here's a linear location for you to go to every single time, and the few paths that we do have don't have much to it, and they don't really have anything, and we're not going to tell you how to get there. But for a game that came with my subscription to Game Pass, I guess it's okay. It's definitely not a reason to get Game Pass. It's not a Game Pass seller, and it's not a system seller, but hopefully with some updates, they can really tweak this game, make it something pretty decent, because I see the potential here. I really do. It's just, for what they were hyping it up to be, it's just disappointing. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching Minecraft Dungeons. I'll see you next time. Bye.